You tell me, how did the gun that murdered a man get into your car?
To hit a yawn right there in this moment in response to that question, I would walk out the room, get a female investigator, come back, and then have the female investigator slap the goofy out of her.
Andrew's murder was fully recorded on multiple security cameras. Even more disturbing is that the same vehicle would drive over Andrew's lifeless body before fleeing the scene.
Continued to then run over his lifeless body. That's insulting.
What you're about to witness is a 21-year-old talking himself into over 300 years in prison.
300 years. Hello, YouTube. We are back with a crazy true crime video today. The title is Spoiled Teen Thinks She Can Get Away with Murder. And I think it's this girl here. I think she was the one in the thumbnail. But yeah, it looks like we got 4 suspects here. So it looks like it's going to be one of those very interesting plot heavy videos. It's going to be like we're watching a Netflix special today. The only thing I'm not excited about is that these kinds of cases get under my skin a lot whenever it has to do with children murderers. Because teenagers are children, right? They're basically children. The way that they behave towards killing somebody in regards to human life, it's just, I just feel like I'm gonna get rage baited today. Even just look at the way she's sitting. Look, she's sitting like a spoiled brat right now. Anyway, before we get into today's video, as you can see, I am streaming right now on Twitch. We watch videos like this all the time, true crime, short films, Vocaloid, sometimes we play games. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, follow me on Twitch. Also make sure to subscribe. All right, let's go. 3, 2, 1. Shut up, Omar.
This is 20-year-old Devon Howard. Devon is sitting in a cold interrogation room alongside his 3 co-accomplices due to their suspected involvement in the brutal shooting and murder of 27-year-old Andrew Janicek.
Oh,
Coincidentally,
damn, he's only 1 year older than me, or he was 1 year older than me. Damn, that's so young.
27-year-old Andrew Janicek. Coincidentally, all 4 claim that they had no involvement in the crime whatsoever, and in fact don't seem to take the situation seriously at all.
Where did you pick her up at? Yeah. Relax, it's okay.
No, I'm fine. I'm just tired.
Okay.
Bro, I'm already getting rage baited. The investigator said relax. She looks too relaxed, yawning and shit. Like she just wants to go to sleep after she killed that sweet looking guy.
Relax, it's okay.
No, I'm fine. I'm just tired.
Okay.
I was involved in the murder of somebody.
Oh, the time is right there.
What the group doesn't realize at this time is that Andrew's murder was fully recorded on multiple security cameras and shows a man getting out of 19-year-old Alicia Valdez's car before killing Andrew. Even more disturbing is that the same vehicle would drive over Andrew's lifeless body before fleeing the scene.
So they killed Andrew and then continued to then run over his lifeless body. That's insulting. Oh my goodness.
The same vehicle would drive over Andrew's lifeless body before fleeing the scene. Alexis Ellis, a bystander at the scene, would hear the gunshot go off and rush over to Andrew to perform CPR while her friend Alyssa called 911.
Jeffcom 911, what is the address of the emergency?
I don't know. I'm just at the corner. It's like Sheridan and 20th. Some guy just got shot, and they took off in a silver 2-door Pontiac, and he's on the ground. He's like face down.
Did you see the person that shot him?
Did you see the person with the gun? Alexis, answer my question. Did you see the person with the gun? She said it looked like a little Mexican dude.
Like, me? Sorry, no, I'm sorry. Shut up. Be serious.
She said it looked like a little Mexican dude.
Okay, and it was just the one male in that vehicle?
Not the Mexican.
He got into the passenger seat of the car. Okay, he's hit in the chest. He got bullets in the chest. We're flipping him over to he's not breathing.
Unfortunately, Andrew would pass away within minutes.
A bullet to the chest, bro. You better have ambulances like right then and there. Anything longer than a couple minutes, 10, 15 minutes tops, you're gone.
Even more unsettling is that the same car model would be seen at a local gas station later that night, where everyone inside would happily buy snacks, joke, and laugh as if nothing had happened just hours prior. The footage inside the gas station would identify the occupants of the vehicle as 19-year-old Alicia Valdez, 20-year-old Caleb Vigil, and 20-year-old Devon Howard Lopez. While painting these 3 out to be killers just based on their car make is clearly premature,
they look much older than 19, Jesus.
While painting these 3 out to be killers just based on their car make is clearly premature, it's enough evidence for police to file a warrant for the arrest of the 3 suspects so they can bring them in for questioning to try and determine if the bunch had any involvement in Andrew's death. What makes this case so interesting is the amount of blatant lies and misinformation that would come out during these interrogations. You would think that at least one of the suspects would feel guilty and confess, but everyone involved would fabricate their story and lie to lessen their perceived role in the crime. But at this point, the police have yet to apprehend any suspects. Their only lead is a lifeless body sprawled on the pavement and 2 shaken witnesses who made the 911 call. Police start by questioning Alexis, the witness who called the cops. Remember, this is an interview and not an interrogation, as currently, Alexis is considered a witness rather than a suspect. But there is something suspicious about her that the detectives want to clarify. 3 years earlier, Alexis was charged as an accessory to murder after her boyfriend shot and killed one of his friends from the vehicle she was driving.
Interesting. So we got multiple people in the area with histories tied to murder. So not the safest area to live in.
Murder after her boyfriend shot and killed one of his friends from the vehicle she was driving. The detective leading the interview, Nathan Geertis, would discover this information during a brief preparation period prior to the interview and is curious as to if maybe she had more to do with Andrew's murder than she was letting on.
We pulled up, we parked in the back parking lot. My friend got out to go into the dispensary. Sitting on my phone playing on Facebook, heard the shot, thought it was a firework for a second until I looked up and saw the victim face down on the floor, and the shooter, there's a silver Pontiac in front of the victim, and the shooter was in front of the car, still kind of standing by the victim's body with the gun pointed at him, and then got back into the Pontiac on the passenger side. They hesitated for a minute on which way they're going to pull off. Looked like they were trying not to hit him. They kind of looked around the parking lot to see if anyone saw it. I was kind of trying to duck as much as possible. I got out of the car. Once I saw that they were gone, ran up to him. I said, "Are you hit?" He said, "Yes, please help me." Called 911, let him know there's...
Oh, so he was still alive when she first found him. Damn, and he was asking for help. That must have been one of his last words. You can imagine how he probably sounded, out of breath, crying maybe a little bit, because, I mean, who wouldn't cry? I mean, I wouldn't blame you, honestly, if you were crying. I mean, you think you're about to die.
Called 911, let him know there's an ambulance on the way. Sounded like he was kind of crying. He wasn't saying anything else. After 2 minutes, the crying stopped, so went to check for a pulse. There was no pulse.
Big night.
Big night.
You all right?
Yeah.
Take note of Alexis's posture when discussing the shooting. She's leaned in towards the officer and seems comfortable, showing little signs of resistance. This language presents truthfulness on her behalf, so it's unlikely she feels any guilt, which likely means that her recollection of events is indeed accurate to what she believed happened.
So you hear nothing. The first thing that catches your attention is a shot. Okay? Are you familiar with guns?
That's what I'm on probation for.
How so?
I was dating a guy for 3 weeks. He asked for a ride and shot and killed somebody at the King Supers on Sheridan Hampton, 2015.
So you heard a gun go off?
Yeah, he was 5 feet in front of me on that one.
Got some tremendous luck.
Yeah.
Did you get charged?
Yeah. Accessory to a crime, F4.
I mean, yeah, I mean, she's very truthful. The narrator already clarified this, but I mean, look at her. I mean, she has no problem even being truthful about her previous charge of being an accessory to murder. So, no, yeah, I mean, nothing suspicious about her at all.
How does this make you feel?
I don't know. I mean, it was hard. I was glad I was able to react like that because I didn't react like that with my case. At the same time, I'm not my PO and everybody's probably gonna chew my ass for it, but he didn't die alone. He knew somebody was there trying to help him.
You
Just being around it and being around the situation.
your fault?
No. But
Did you know this was gonna go down?
No.
This interview clearly showcased the responses suspects make when dealing with discomfort. We could physically see her subtle movement patterns and how they coincided with certain emotions Alexis was feeling. Her body language makes sense. She felt uncomfortable while discussing her own criminal history, which is completely reasonable. However, when discussing a crime she had no part in, her demeanor changed significantly, with an open posture and willingness to answer every question. And with this, we should be now more prepared to analyze the interrogation of a less innocent suspect later on in this video.
Oh, that's actually a really good thing about this video. Yeah, we're seeing a good example of a truthful suspect. But see, this is how somebody behaves when they're honest and when they're not suspicious about anything, because they didn't do anything, right? But we're about to see the people who actually did commit the crime, and they're gonna try and lie, I assume.
Police would continue their hunt to find the whereabouts of the 3 inside the suspected vehicle, and it wouldn't take them long at all. Just a few hours later, at 4 a.m., an officer spotted a vehicle closely resembling the one described by Alexis driving recklessly and pulled it over. It quickly became clear that this was no ordinary traffic stop.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Hey, Officer Lloyd Different Police. You can't turn left there.
Oh, I can't?
No, it says there's a big sign up there that says do not turn left. That's just,
Oh, yeah.
You don't have a front plate either. Is it up in the window?
Yeah, because
okay.
my thing is broken, so I got to get a new one to actually hold it.
The bracket?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, do you have your license, registration, insurance, ma'am?
Yes, there's those.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes. Alicia Valdez. Alicia, can I have your step out for a second? Don't grab anything with you, okay? Just step on out for me. Okay, put your hands behind your back. You got a warrant, okay?
Why?
Why do you have a warrant? You probably know that better than I do, but we're gonna do some research and tell you exactly what it is. Yeah, they put out a...
Ooh, hey, this cop's feisty. Hey, this cop's kind of sassy. She said, why do I have a warrant? The cop just goes, you know why you have a warrant. How do you do it? Is it a snap or is it like a pinch? Like he clocked her or something?
Why do you have a warrant? You probably know that better than I do, but we're gonna do some research and tell you exactly what it is. Yeah, they put out a felony warrant out for you.
Yeah, somebody say he's a diva.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have anything on you I need to know about?
I don't.
Okay.
All right, if you wanna watch them, I'll pat him down real quick. I'm just gonna set you down on the curb, okay? You just put your wallet on the top, man. I'll give it back to you in a sec here, okay? Go ahead, just put him right behind. You're not in trouble, you're not going to jail, you're not getting arrested right now. All right, just gonna pat you down real quick, man. You can put your phone in your pocket. The same thing as your partner, you're not going to jail, you're not getting handcuffed. I'm just doing this for while you're gonna be sitting behind us, okay?
God damn.
Okay, anything in your hood or in your pockets you know about?
No.
Perfect, okay, you can go have a seat with them, okay? Is this your gold phone? Okay.
That car was packed with Mexicans.
Is this your gold phone? Okay.
At this very moment, the officer would discover a pistol inside the vehicle. Caleb had just stated there were no guns inside the vehicle just minutes earlier, so the officer quickly places Caleb under arrest so they can safely investigate this increasingly tense situation.
Stand up, man. Stand up. Sheriff's behind your back. You're not gonna tell me there's a gun in the seat next to you? What? You're gonna tell me you're gonna try to leave a gun on the seat when you left? That'd be nice to know, wouldn't it? Oh, and a pocket full of bullets. How about this? I'm about to get out of the car. Officer, I have a gun on me. Right? What's that? One more person? They're all hooked. Did you let them know that this is in the car? SCCY 9mm.
All four would be arrested following the discovery of Caleb's pistol. However, throughout the entire process, Alicia, the owner of the car, would stay eerily optimistic, as if she hadn't yet connected the dots that her arrest was related to Andrew's murder.
Just stay right there for a second.
Look at Mick Giggles over here. Mick Giggle farts. She thinks this is all fun and games.
Just have a seat over here in this black chair.
You could find me a restaurant. I really appreciate it.
Now that the suspects have finally been secured, detectives would begin the process of individually interrogating all four suspects, with separate preparation and planning made for each interrogation in attempts to get as many differing stories and general information as possible. They would begin with Alicia Valdez, who was allegedly the driver of the vehicle. They sit her in an open room with a large TV to her left and a digital clock behind. This is drastically different from the cold, empty room seen earlier in this video. This is done purposefully. This room is meant to feel welcoming and open. The table creates a subconscious, comforting barrier between the suspect and the detectives, something that's absent in many more aggressive interrogations. The objective is to get Alicia to feel comfortable and willing to speak to the detectives. Remember, at this point, Alicia knows very little about what evidence the cops have. She has no idea that everything was recorded on CCTV, and they know that her car was there. The plan is to set a trap that prevents Alicia from denying that she was at the scene, so the more willing she is to talk at the beginning, the better. That's why they start the questioning off lightly, but it'll ramp up in no time at all.
Damn. So we know she's cooked. They have the video, they have all of the surveillance. I mean, yeah, we literally saw the footage of the guy running over Andrew's dead body at the very beginning, and it was her silver Pontiac car. So, I mean, she's cooked. The only thing that these people are tasked with doing is getting her to confess. But she's cooked either way, though. She's going to jail for sure.
Thank you. It's over here if you want it.
Okay, thank you.
You all right?
Cold. Yeah. It was nice earlier.
Yeah.
The detectives offer her water to immediately try to appear friendly and form a bond. People are much more likely to tell a friend something than they are a stranger, so this is an extremely important step.
Rookie cops, bro. Rookie investigators. When you're dealing with a fellow Hispana, you don't offer water, okay? They don't like water. You gotta offer Fanta, preferably the orange one, that or a Coca, and Doritos or some kind of Takis or Cheetos. That don't make them talk, bro.
You'll notice this friendly demeanor slowly fades and changes as the interrogation continues.
And where do you live at?
Right now, kind of a bit of everywhere.
Okay.
Where are you? In my car.
In your car? Okay.
Keep this fact in mind for later on in the interrogation, as the detectives will use it to prove she was at the scene later on.
We're in the car with you today. It's your car, right?
Mm-hmm.
How long have you owned that car?
I've had that car for, I believe, about 6 months.
So 6 months about?
Mm-hmm.
You owned it?
Where did you get it?
I bought it from a public auction down in Colorado Springs.
Okay.
Okay, so you have keys to the car.
Mm-hmm.
Have you given your keys to anybody else?
No, the only ones that were there are the ones that were in the car.
Okay, so when you bought the car, there was one set of keys?
And then I had another maid, but they're together. They're on the same.
Okay.
This is a simple question, and it should have a definitive answer. Based on what she's just said, the fact that the only 2 keys are in her possession, there's no reason for her to be unsure who has access to the car. She's deflecting.
So you say you've been kind of homeless here recently? Okay, living out of that car?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where else have you been staying?
Sometimes with gentlemen in the yellow. I mean, not yellow, green out there.
Caleb? Okay, well, we'll talk about who else was in the car with you tonight?
My boyfriend and another young woman I don't know.
Who's your boyfriend?
Devon.
Where'd you meet him?
Mutual friends.
Yeah.
If you haven't noticed already, Alicia is extremely nervous. We're 10 minutes into this interview, and her leg hasn't stopped bouncing up and down the entire time. She's also been moving around in her chair and avoiding eye contact while answering very simple questions. Even without the evidence that they'd already collected beforehand, the detectives would likely already be convinced that she played a part in what happened.
Yeah.
Now it's just about exploiting these weaknesses and extracting a confession using everything they know. And the process starts by establishing a timeline.
Who are the other 2 people in the car?
It's actually kind of good. I don't know if they intended this, but an effect that a cold room has on somebody like her, doesn't really have a hoodie or a jacket. You know, she's wearing very light clothing. When you're freezing and like jittery and shit, you just want to get the fuck out of there. Like you want to get things done so you can get to warmth, right? In this environment, I feel like people just will end up just wanting to confess or wanting to give the truth just to leave, bro. Like,
And the process starts by establishing a timeline.
Who are the other 2 people in the car?
Caleb, I met him through mutual friends too. I haven't really known him that long.
What about the girl? Do you know her name?
I have no idea who she is.
When did you meet her?
Just tonight.
Where did you pick her up at?
I don't know, because I don't know Denver like that.
Where were you at before you left to go pick this girl up?
Caleb's.
Was Devon there with you? So you were a few hours at Caleb's house, and then Caleb asked you to go pick this girl up, is that right? Okay. And you picked her up, and you were headed back to Caleb's house when the police stopped you. Right, if I got all that
we were headed back, but I stopped at the 7-Eleven down the street.
Okay. Which 7-Eleven?
Get some drinks. The one off of Colfax and Ogden, I think.
Okay.
The detectives now have a story that Alicia is locked into, meaning that if anything she says contradicts this, they'll know she's lying, and they can use it to trap her to put on more pressure. Alicia, however, is playing a game of her own and trying her best to dodge questions and hide certain details from the cops, but she's fighting a losing battle, and the cops know it.
How long have you been staying at Caleb's house?
Not really a lot.
I'm just trying to get a sense of like every other night, every night, you know, 5 nights a week. What? Just give me an idea.
Maybe like 1 to 2 nights.
1 to 2 nights a week. What were you doing today before you even went to Caleb's house?
Mainly just hanging out with my boyfriend. He's trying to keep me distracted off today.
Oh, because of that. Yeah.
This is her boyfriend, but he looks like an absolute menace. Dude, again, as a fellow Hispanic, if I see this guy walking down the sidewalk, I'm switching sidewalks, bruh. Sorry, I can say that because this is my people, bruh. I grew up with people like this.
Mainly just hanging out with my boyfriend. He's trying to keep me distracted off today.
Oh, because of that. Yeah. We all have stuff like that.
I know.
Yeah. Okay, so where were you hanging out at?
Really just everywhere driving.
Driving.
But that was about it.
Okay. Relax, it's okay.
No, I'm fine. I'm just tired.
Okay.
But Alicia is all too aware that the final thing they did last night is exactly what police want to know about, and she absolutely cannot bring it up.
You stayed anywhere else since you come to Denver other than Caleb's or your car?
I stayed at this one girl's house. I don't remember her name. Like I said, I met her through mutual friends. But those friends that I did meet her through, I'm no longer really in contact with.
Okay, how long ago was that you stayed at her house? A week ago?
A week or something
Did
ago.
Devin stay with you at her house too?
Yeah, he's with me all the time.
This is an extremely important statement. If they can confirm that either Devon or Alicia was at the scene of the crime, they'll be able to lock both of them into it. The detective immediately realizes the importance of this and forces her to double down on her statement.
Now, has Devin been with you the entire time? Since you've been here in Denver? And since he stayed with you at her house? And he's been staying with you in your car or at Caleb's this whole time, up until tonight? Okay. So, has Devin been in the car with you every time you've been out in the car?
I believe so, yes.
Boom. They laid out that trap and she already confirmed it. So like right here, she just confirmed that Caleb is always with her and has been with her in the car up until like the point of the murder. Yeah.
Now, on top of the information from before, the detectives know that wherever her car was, both her and Devon had to have been there too.
Oh, I kept saying Caleb. Devon.
This is where the second stage of the interrogation begins. They're aware she's guilty, have an extremely detailed timeline of events, and know she's feeling extremely uncomfortable. Now, the plan is simple. They want her to give up as much information about the actual murder and the other suspects as possible, so they can easily implicate everyone else that's waiting for their interrogation. So the detectives take a short break. When they sit back down, they plan to switch gears completely. They're going to heavily apply the pressure and attempt to extract a full confession.
It's pretty apparent to me you're being truthful about things. And it's also apparent that there's some stuff you don't want to talk about. But we've been sitting here talking for a while. I genuinely like you. I think you're a good kid. Well, to me, you're a kid.
I mean, I am a kid.
Yeah, you're younger than my daughter. Okay. You're up here from the Springs. You've had some stuff in your life, but now you're up here in Denver hanging with these guys that you've got, some history. Some rough history, not your kind of history, right? You're kind of out of your element up here, all right? I don't know that you got yourself into trouble, other than the people you're hanging with, but these other people have gotten you into a lot of trouble.
Who?
Caleb, for one.
You got me in a lot of trouble.
You just told me we spent a lot.
Did she just blame Caleb? He got me in a lot. Oh no, she said it as a question. I thought she just threw Caleb under the bus.
You just told me we spent a long time. You were very clear that no one else has been driving your car for the last week. Okay? That you and Devon and Caleb have been in your car. There's a few random people you don't know, but even when those random people are in the car, you and Devon are in the car. And that's you staying with that?
Pretty much.
Okay.
It's a common tactic to give a suspect an excuse for what they've done. In this case, the detective says he genuinely believes she's a good kid and has just been swept along in what's happened. It's likely he'll also tell her at some point soon that if she helps them out, they might be able to give her a much lighter sentence. It's also important to note that he's still trying to keep a friendly demeanor to her, and the reason for this hasn't changed. If he starts to get angry at her now, she might become closed off and refuse to tell them anything. If anything, he's even trying to seem fatherly, choosing to mention his daughter and calling her a kid, something that could even be a response to her saying her father passed away when she was younger. However, all of this...
Hey, there's that dark, light Yagami type manipulation on the detective's part. God damn, like, ooh, you got a dead daddy. I'm using that. Damn.
Father passed away when she was younger. However, all of this is leading up to something. They're finally going to reveal why she's really there and exactly what they know.
So... remember the day that it was raining? It was snowing, real bad weather? That was Friday. That night, the night before all that snow and rain? Do you remember where you were that night?
I could not tell you.
Okay. You remember being in a dark parking lot that night?
Sorry.
You remember being in a dark parking lot that night?
I don't know.
Okay, look at me. Your car is at the scene of a murder. Someone got out of your car, shot someone, and killed them. Got back into your car and drove away. You just told me that you were driving your car all week. You need to tell me the truth.
Ooh, yeah. See, that's where the trap has now come into play because he got her to confirm that she's always in the car. She's been in the car all week, and every time she gets into the car, she's with Devin, her boyfriend.
Honestly, I don't recall.
You don't recall?
I don't.
We have it on video. I know that the person who shot this guy is a guy. I know it wasn't you. I know it was your car. You tell me you're the only one driving your car, so you were driving the car.
I mean, yeah, but I don't recall being in wherever you're saying I was.
Picture yourself in this situation. If you'd just been told that police believe you were at the scene of the crime, would your first response be, I don't recall? Anybody innocent would be shocked to hear this information and do everything they could to clear their name and distance themselves from the crime. Alicia was there. And now the detectives are more certain of this than ever. And they're starting to get frustrated.
Yeah, for real. Okay, this is where I might start to get rage baited. As the narrator just said, if you're truly innocent and then the cops are hitting you with, hey, we saw you there. You're the one driving the car. We believe you were at the scene of a murder. The correct response would be like, what the hell? Like, no, like, what? But for her to just be so nonchalant, it reflects her I don't give a fuck about anything attitude. Oh, I don't recall. No me acuerdo.
You're starting to get frustrated.
Honestly, you need to be honest with me here.
I am?
No, you're not. I do know you were driving the car. Now, driving the car could make you an accessory to murder. If you're going to sit here and tell me you don't remember, no one in the world, no one. You put yourself in my position, okay? I know you were driving the car. I know your car was there because I got video of it.
I really don't.
Put yourself in my position. Do you think anybody in the world is going to believe that you don't remember that?
I don't know. I just, like I said, I drive everywhere. And
Yeah, you would have remembered this, though.
This is a chilling line from the detective, and you can clearly see it almost startles Alicia. The sight of that man being shot will be burned into her mind, and being so clearly reminded of it would be jolting, to say the least. In fact, the detectives didn't even realize exactly how traumatizing it might have been until just moments later.
Oh, damn. So she was just hit with the image of what her boyfriend just did outside of her car when she was driving. So that's why up until now, she low-key hasn't given a fuck. She's just been like, oh, I don't care, whatever. She knew that he had just killed somebody, but she didn't see it, right? So mentally, that disconnects her from it. That's why she's been so unempathetic, so not caring. But this must have really jolted her.
This is a chilling line from the detective, and you can clearly see it almost startles Alicia. The sight of that man being shot will be burned into her mind, and being so clearly reminded of it would be jolting, to say the least. In fact, the detectives didn't even realize exactly how traumatizing it might have been until just moments later.
Tonight, Caleb had a gun on him. Did you know he had a gun on him?
No, because I don't just pat everybody down that comes in my car.
Well, you know he owns a gun, right? You're staying in his place. You drive with him every day.
Not every day. But...
Well, I mean, so he probably carries a gun with him for protection. In the parts of town.
Well, really, I don't really like seeing guns. I don't really like going around guns.
But
only because of what happened to my dad.
Have you seen him with a gun?
Ooh, she's getting nervous, chat. Look how she's scratching herself.
Seeing guns. I don't really like going around guns.
But
only because of what happened to my dad.
Have you seen him with a gun before?
Not really, no, because I don't pay attention.
What happened to your dad with a gun?
He was murdered.
He was murdered?
Yeah.
Okay. With a gun. So this was probably pretty traumatic for you, seeing someone murdered with a gun.
I did not see anybody.
It happened right in front of your car.
Like I said, I don't recall.
Notice how quickly the detective hones in on her father's murder and how similar that may have been to this incident. He's looking for any opening to make her feel uncomfortable and guilty. And as horrible as it may sound, this is about as good as you can get. So the detectives take one last break to think about their final move and come back with the last and possibly most damning piece of evidence of all.
Ooh, wait, there's another piece of evidence we haven't seen yet? Oh, shit.
You've been on the other side of this, haven't you? With your dad. You've been on the other side of this whole thing, haven't you?
What does that mean?
I mean, you had a family member murdered. So you've seen the other side of this.
Well, not really. Not really. They let the man that did it go away.
They did? How'd that feel?
Mm-hmm.
Did they catch him and then not...
And they let him go? I mean, the way I see it, it's less go ahead and do it.
No, that's not all right. You don't believe that. When you got stopped tonight, there was a gun in your car.
Look at her.
Did you see the gun?
Wait, look at her, chat. Look how disrespectful this is, first of all. Like, she's just head down on her arms. He's still trying to look at her, but I mean, she's burying her face into her arms like a child. Like she just wants to go to sleep or something. This would infuriate me. And I think you can even hear it in his voice. He's getting frustrated, the investigator.
I mean, the way I see it, it's less go ahead and do it.
No, that's not all right. You don't believe that. When you got stopped tonight, there was a gun in your car.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the gun that they took out of your car?
I didn't see it, no.
You didn't see it, but they took a gun out of your car. Okay, that was the gun that was used to murder this man. And we prove that too. That's an easy one. The gun that was in your car.
You sure it was?
Oh, I'm sure it was. Yes, I can prove that. That's easy. Mm-hmm. The bullet that we dug out of this man's chest at the autopsy came from that gun that just came out of your car. That's fact too. Your car was in the parking lot where he was shot. You tell me, how did the gun that murdered a man get into your car?
To hit a yawn right there in this moment in response to that question, dude, if I was this investigator right here, I would walk out the room, get a female investigator, come back, and then have the female investigator slap the shit out of her, slap the goofy out of her. Hell, that is so disrespectful and fucked up.
That murdered a man get into your car?
I don't know.
The detectives get very little other information out of her from this point onwards, but they've already gotten more than enough. They've heavily implicated her in the crime, and it sounds as though Devon had to have been there with her too. It's at this point that we'll take a break from the suspect's interrogation, as unfortunately, convicting the criminals is only one half of these officers' jobs. And while all of this is going on, another team of detectives and officers are tasked with the brutal job of breaking the news of Andrew's death to his family. Andrew's girlfriend Jessica was the only one awake.
No, the girlfriend's about to find out, dude.
Andrew's girlfriend Jessica was the only one awake, so in the middle of the night, she'd get a knock on the door from a group of detectives.
All right, Jessica. Well, I appreciate you answering my questions. So I have some news for you. It's not. I'm just gonna come out and say it. Andrew's dead.
You're joking?
I'm not joking. Andrew is dead.
What happened?
He was shot, and he died in the parking lot.
Oh my god! Have you guys already informed his mom or anything?
You're the first person I was able to get a hold of, and I know that this is hard to hear.
Oh my god!
Yeah, this is just so sad, man. Like, to hear that reaction.
Person I was able to get a hold of.
That's from the heart.
And I know that this is hard to hear.
Oh my god!
This clip is devastating, as it seems like Jessica had absolutely no idea of any of the events that transpired earlier that night. As far as she was aware, Andrew was simply going out to get them barbecue dinner. However, as sad as this is, detectives have to consider the possibility of Andrew having some sort of connection to the group. For all they know, this could have been a drug deal gone wrong or some other illegal activity that caused the shooting. With this in mind, detectives would bring Jessica to the station where they could conduct a formal interview to determine if Andrew had any prior connection to the group that killed him. While preparing for the interview, a strange discovery would be made. Police were given an anonymous tip that Jessica's own brother had been planning to kill Andrew.
What? The girlfriend's brother was maybe planning to kill Andrew? What?
That Jessica's own brother had been planning to kill Andrew. The two had supposedly a recurring issue with one another that had gotten progressively worse. This is awfully coincidental, and something detectives need to get to the bottom of.
Okay, it could just be a crazy coincidence that they had beef, but now this opens up the possibility that the girlfriend's brother maybe got a hold of some goons, like those Hispanic guys, to confront Andrew, to kill him? I don't know.
And something detectives need to get to the bottom of.
Yeah. And then I saw the picture of him on there.
Okay. I bet that was pretty rough. So I received information going back a year, maybe 2 years. Your brother had threatened Andrew.
Yeah,
basically.
He didn't threaten him directly. It was indirectly to me. Meaning I was driving to work one morning and we were having a fight, and that's when he really unnerved me. So I told Andrew, and then Andrew wanted to take it to the police, and the police said your best option would be just to move away from the situation. So we did.
What was said? I mean, it was obviously fairly egregious.
Basically, it was just, it's probably something to the effect, I'll just take him out too.
What do you think he meant by that?
I mean, well, the first thought to my head is to kill him, taking someone out.
While these comments from Jessica's brother are disturbing, Jessica doesn't seem too bothered by it now. But at the time, they took it seriously enough to move houses just to get away from him. But the detective can't just take Jessica's word for this. Luckily, there are some simple ways that he might be able to prove if he was involved or not.
What kind of car does your brother drive?
Pathfinder.
What color is that?
Green. Well, like a dark forest green.
Does your brother have access to firearms or anything like that?
He's not allowed to.
Why not?
He has charges against him for past stupidity.
Ooh. It opens up another reason as to why he would have had to have hired that group of people to kill Andrew, because he doesn't have access to his own firearms. He's not allowed to. It's illegal for him.
Does your brother have access to firearms or anything like that?
He's not allowed to.
Why not?
He has charges against him for past stupidity.
Okay.
And I don't know all those crimes because I didn't bother to try to talk to him about them.
The description of his cars don't match up with the one on CCTV at all, and if he's not allowed access to any firearms, then it's very unlikely that he was their guy. However, before they wrap up the interview, Jessica asks a final, devastating question.
Can I just ask you one question?
Sure.
Andrew? Can I ask you, where he was shot? Just because his mom told me that when he was shot, the witness who saw it ran to him and stayed with him until he passed.
He was shot in the chest. Okay.
Yeah. deserve that. No.
No, nobody deserves that. From all accounts, from what you've been saying, it seemed like he was a very good guy.
Yeah.
This question echoed in the detectives' heads for the rest of this case. It really seemed like Andrew was a nice, peaceful man who was brutally killed that night. Detectives would go on to interview Jessica's brother as well and managed to fully clear his name as a suspect.
So he's not a suspect. Okay, so he's innocent. The brother's innocent.
Caleb, Devon, and Alicia had no connection to Andrew. This was a cold-blooded murder. This case had just taken a far more sinister turn, and detectives had to find justice for not only Andrew, but for the rest of his family. After Alicia's interrogation, they would bring in Caleb, the man who they at this point believe actually pulled the trigger. But Caleb wasn't planning on making things easy. His interrogation lasts just 4 minutes, but opens up an entirely new side to this investigation, filled with dozens of shocking new pieces of evidence, all sparked by just one tiny thing that he said.
All right, Caleb. Been a long night, huh? Yeah. All right, Caleb, I'm Detective John Leone. I'm a detective here with Denver, and I'm going to talk to you about your traffic stop, your friends, and the gun that you had on you tonight. What's your home address, Caleb? 1548 in Valentine. If you want to talk to me about what happened, your answer is yes. If you don't want to talk to me, you should say no. No, I'll talk later. Okay.
The interrogation ended here, but unbeknownst to Caleb, he gave away a crucial piece of evidence.
Already? Oh, his address. Okay. Yeah, I was like, he said nothing. Like, what the fuck did this help with?
But unbeknownst to Caleb, he gave away a crucial piece of evidence, his address. And it took police no time at all to obtain a search warrant.
Police, open up the door. Police, open the door. Show me your hands. Show me your hands. Step up.
Who else is in here? Nobody, just me, sir. I don't live here. This is not my house. This is a friend's house of mine. I apologize.
If you're in here, make yourself known. Do it now. Police department, come out. Come out with your hands up.
That was one of Caleb's friends, and he's one of the 3 keys inside this apartment that would unlock the case for the detectives. The second was this giant stock of 9mm bullets that perfectly matched the bullet found lodged inside Andrew's body.
Cooked. So cooked. That's actually so crazy. Caleb thought he was gonna get off scotch-free. He probably felt like he was so smart saying, I'm not talking without a lawyer. That's what the TikTok guys told me to do.
And if that wasn't damning enough, there was one more piece of evidence inside that was the most shocking of all, but the police hadn't even realized it yet. Instead, they wanted to have a quick conversation with the man they found inside. It seems that Caleb was known to this guy as Modelo, and Devon as Silencio. Often friends of suspects like this tend to keep their mouths shut out of trust.
Okay, first of all, that's already cringe. If you give yourself code names within your friend group and you're not in a gang, you're gay as fuck. I'm gonna be real with you. Like, being actually gay, like LGBTQ, that's not even the gayest thing you can do. This shit is gay. Y'all agree, right? My gays in chat. This shit gayer than y'all.
Guy as Modelo and Devon as Silencio. Often friends of suspects like this tend to keep their mouths shut out of trust, but this time, well, see for yourself.
Dello got out of the car, I guess, to go mug this dude with a gun. Dude dropped the wallet on the ground. Dello unloaded the gun into somebody, I guess. So whoever was in the car, I guess, Silencio just told me that they saw him get back up or whatever, and they ran him over as they drove off. That's all I know.
This was everything detectives could have asked for, but what came next was their most haunting discovery of all. Inside Caleb's house was a receipt from 7-Eleven dated just minutes after the murder, proving that Caleb, Devon, and Alicia were indeed the ones laughing at the gas station after the murder.
That is so fucked up. Right after the murder, they're chilling, and it matches their behavior that they've shown this whole video. Very chill, very, I don't care about anything, the yawning. They went to 7-Eleven minutes after they just killed somebody. Like it was nothing. Like it was nothing to them.
All of these events transpired over 24 hours, but police had left out one crucial suspect, Devon, aka Silencio, and it was for good reason. Police knew Devon was desperate to keep his girlfriend Alicia from getting charged, so if they could use that against him, they might be able to get him to admit to the murders. The mounting pressure on Devon became so intense that he started confessing to other crimes and robberies he had committed in the past.
I'll tell you straight up, me and Caleb together have done crimes before. Okay.
What you're about to witness is a 21-year-old talking himself into over 300 years in prison.
300 years, bro.
Old talking himself into over 300 years in prison.
Yeah, Devin?
Devon.
Do you go by Devon?
Yeah.
I'm probably going to screw that up, so if I do, I apologize, all right?
I'm not worried about it.
So, Devon, like I said, my name is Mark Spurgeon. I'm an investigator with the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office.
Bro, somebody said they gonna revive bro just to keep him in there.
You know Nate, right? You know we're both cops?
Yep.
Okay. It's been my understanding that when they made contact with you this afternoon that you were willing to talk to us again. Is that true?
To an extent, yeah.
Okay. To an extent? Okay. I just like to start and make sure you understand your rights, because one of the things I don't want to do in this room is violate your rights. You have these rights and I think they're important to you. So, you know where you're at?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, kind of.
All right. I know this sounds stupid, but I want to make sure you understand what we're doing. Where you at?
Some police station.
Okay. All right. What state are you in?
Colorado.
Who's the president?
Trump.
The detectives are being perhaps even more careful at the beginning of this interrogation than they were in Alicia's. They want to confirm that Devon is of sound mind right now, leaving the defense absolutely no opportunity to invalidate this piece of evidence in court. They can't leave any room for error, because they know he's likely only here for one reason: to confess.
I'm into this investigation somewhat late, so I kind of want to start out and ask you, why are we sitting in this room? Why are we here? Fill me in.
I was involved in the murder of somebody.
Okay.
That's all.
That's why? So tell me about it, because there's a reason that you want to talk about it, right?
I just want to get my girl out of trouble because she had nothing to do with it.
All right. Like I said, I come in late to this. Who's your girl?
Alicia Valdez.
The detective's plan worked perfectly. He's here to tell the cops everything in hopes that he can maybe get his girlfriend out of trouble. But you can still clearly see how uncomfortable with this he is. As soon as he's asked why he's here, he goes from sitting perfectly still to dancing around in his chair, searching his pockets, and leaning back away from the detectives. It doesn't matter if he thinks this is the right thing to do, he still knows he's being checkmated, and he's about to sentence himself to a lifetime in jail.
More like 3 lifetimes, Jesus.
Want to get her out of trouble?
Yeah. All right. She had nothing to do with it. She's not a criminal. She ain't even been to jail before, till now.
Okay. Was she there?
Yeah, she didn't know anything was gonna happen though. She didn't have any hand in it at all.
Okay.
I was driving, and you know, you can figure out the rest. I'm sure you already have.
Like I said, I'm coming into this new. I learned about this literally this morning. They asked me to come in and kind of assist, so that's what I'm doing. Do me a favor, walk me through. Because if you want to get her out of the situation she's in, I understand, I respect that. But I need to know what happened, so walk me through it.
We were driving around, honestly, for nights, having fun.
Drive around having fun?
Yeah. We like to drive. It's fun. We listen to music. Then we had to pull into this parking lot. And then from there, I don't really feel like I need to speak on.
Why not?
Because you guys already have pretty much everything figured out. You guys know she did not pull the trigger.
Okay.
That's what matters. I'm just here to get her out of trouble. I'm not here to get anyone else in trouble, except for myself, obviously.
Right.
All I can tell you is no one knew that the shooting was gonna happen. It was not planned.
So it wasn't planned?
Hell no, it wasn't planned. Who planned on driving to a parking lot shooting some random white guy?
Were you planning on robbing him?
Like I said, I wasn't planning on doing it.
Was Caleb planning on robbing him?
Like I said, I'm not gonna speak on that.
This is one of the detectives' leading theories about what happened. They don't necessarily believe that they planned on murdering Andrew. They think that this was more likely a robbery gone wrong. They intended to just steal Andrew's money, but ended up freaking out, shooting him, and running him over to ensure he couldn't turn them into the cops.
What makes you guys go at this kid?
Who?
The victim, the kid that died.
No, he's not a kid, he's 27. But
right. He is to me.
True.
What an odd thing to say. Like, why did you guys kill the kid? He's not a kid. He's a man. Like, wow, okay. Like,
the victim, the kid that died.
No, he's not a kid, he's 27. But
right. He is to me.
True. Well, like I said, I don't know. I wasn't planning on anything happening to him. I didn't know what was going to happen to this guy. Okay. And when something went off, I drove off.
Okay. What happened? We need to know what happened.
Well, everyone knows he got shot.
Yeah, I know that. But I'm trying to figure out who shot him, and I need somebody to tell me that.
Well, I'm not going to tell you anything, because I'm sure you guys already know. And
okay.
If you guys can't figure that out, then there's some issues. Good.
Well, let me ask you this. When I'm trying to...
She didn't shoot. You know, she can pull trigger. I told you I was driving.
Right.
I mean, can put the rest together. It's not up to me.
But I guess I'm trying to understand is why. I'm trying to understand the motive.
I don't know. I told you, none of us do that happen. I'm sitting in the damn car.
Mm-hmm.
So I obviously don't know anything can happen.
If you drive him there, you put him in that lot.
Unfortunately, that's how it looks. That is how it happened.
Yeah.
It's just nothing, I'm telling you, nothing was planned.
Let me ask you this. Were you just thinking of, was Caleb, or do you even know, was Caleb trying just to rip off, get some money? And it's bad?
We're not perfect. I've been before.
At this point, it's obvious that Devon's lawyer will have told him clearly not to discuss anything that doesn't relate directly to Alicia. He's only going to talk about anything that might help get her out of trouble. It's also at this point that the detective realizes that. He knows that he's not going to get anything out of Devon beyond that, so that's when he decides to do something extremely clever. He's going to abuse the facts that Devon only wants to get Alicia.
Yeah, I'm glad somebody in chat pointed that shit out. Somebody in chat says, who the fuck does this guy think he is? He said, I'm sure you can figure the rest out, and if you can't, then there's some issues. Like, this stupid ass Devon guy talking down to these investigators like, bro thinks he's the commander here or something. I don't fucking know.
He knows that he's not going to get anything out of Devon beyond that, so that's when he decides to do something extremely clever. He's going to abuse the facts that Devon only wants to get Alicia out of trouble, and phrase his next question in a way that forces him to give up some vital information.
Wow, that's so smart, actually. I don't think I would have thought of that way. That's actually really smart.
I'm not going to speak on what, like, anything else besides me and Alicia.
Let me ask you this. Did you guys talk about it?
What do you mean?
Did you guys talk about it? Did you and Caleb say, hey, this is what we're thinking about? Because I'm trying to figure out, is she the one planning this?
Alicia had nothing to do with any of this.
So help me understand that.
I'll tell you straight up, me and Caleb together have done crimes before.
Okay. I'm worried about this one.
This one right here, this is supposed to go like that.
How was it supposed to go?
Like I said, I don't see the need to get in all that. It's not going to benefit me or her. I don't see, or him.
Well, right now we're still trying to figure out her role. And if we can explain her role, and there's only two people that can explain her role, you and Caleb. Caleb ain't talking to us. Without us understanding the specifics of how this went down, and if her involvement or what her involvement was in that, with some explanation that we can go back to a DA and say, hey, this is what's going on, this person was honest, she didn't know it was going to go down. But I've got to know that, but I've got to understand how it got planned then. You understand? I have to have some type of specifics to try to sell that. If you want to try to help her, help her.
Put simply, if Devon wants to get Alicia out of trouble and prove she didn't plan the murder, he'll have to tell them exactly who did, solving the case for them on the spot. He's been checkmated, because no matter what story he tells them from this point out, they've got the evidence to prove or disprove it. Their entire
Damn, wait, that's really smart from this guy. The way that he phrased it now. Like, hey, man, if you don't explain anything, I mean, we're gonna just toss all y'all in, even if that's not true. That might have not been true. Like, hey, Alicia's gonna go in the slammer, bro. She's going to jail. So, did Alicia plan this? Oh, she didn't plan it? Who did? If you don't tell me who did, Alicia's going to jail too. Like, yeah, that might have not been true. That might have been a lie, but
no matter what story he tells them from this point out, they've got the evidence to prove or disprove it. Their entire plan was just to get him to talk, and that's exactly what they've done. Now, it's finally time they heard the truth.
That's why I'm irritated about this, because I don't know this fool nothing about him.
Did you see the confrontation go down between Caleb and this guy?
It looked like the white dude was attacking the person, honestly, but I saw the end of it right before the dude got shot.
Do you remember when you say the white dude was attacking the other guy, right? Could you describe it to me?
It looked like they were squared up and the white dude was rushing the other guy.
Let me ask you, if I stood up, would you show me? If I stood up and I'm the white dude, would you show me? Or let me be the shooter, you be the white dude. Would you do that?
Yeah.
So I understand it? Give me the visual.
So here's the other dude, the white dude.
So I'm the other guy, right?
The white dude's on the bed like this, and he looked like he was squared up, started running toward him.
Okay, what's this guy doing?
Running backwards, and that's when I heard a gunshot.
All right, do you remember, stand up again for me. So how close are they?
Come
to me,
they're about, probably about this, maybe a little further.
Okay.
And then that's when I heard a gunshot go off, and the white dude rushing him.
So the right dude's closing that gap?
Yeah.
So do they ever get right on top of each other? No. So there's always a distance?
Yeah, it's always about both their arms distance.
So, all right.
About both their arms.
Okay. Did the white dude have anything in his hand?
I couldn't see. I saw the last end of it. I wasn't really looking for details. I was kind of confused on what's going on.
Okay. All right. This guy, not the white dude, the other guy. Hands together, hands apart.
It's kind of like, well, he was standing like this, trying to tell the dude to back up.
Okay.
And that's when the white dude kept rushing. I'm assuming maybe he tried to reach for the gun. I don't know.
Okay.
But that's when the shot goes
Was the gun in the right hand then?
I can't remember.
Okay. But he had one hand up and the other hand back.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Getting a suspect to act out an incident is a great way of proving they actually knew what happened. They may be able to match the movements to the CCTV footage or witness accounts, and a defense team will have a hard time arguing that anything here could be misinterpreted. From what Devon is saying, it seems as though there was a struggle between Caleb and Andrew, where the shooter approached Andrew, who quickly tried to defend himself. It's becoming increasingly obvious that this was intended to be a robbery, but when Andrew tried to fight back, it turned into a murder in the blink of an eye.
So when these guys are in your windshield, are they across from each other? Like you're looking at the sides of each other?
They're like this.
Honestly, this just goes out to y'all really quick. If you ever find yourself being at gunpoint for robbery and the guys are asking for your wallet or something, just hand over the wallet, dude. If you can, take your ID out. That's it. Take your ID out and hand it over. Because the thing is with credit cards and anything else, you can just shut it down from the app. You should have the banking apps on your phone. There's an option in the apps to just disable the cards so that they can't use it. Okay, you can't make any purchases with it. Your life is worth more than anything you could give. You know, any kind of money.
Are they across from each other? Like you're looking at the sides of each other?
They're like this. They're just kind of like this.
Could you draw for me?
The white dude, I can't draw. But the white dude's standing. They're both standing. White dude's closer to me. They're kind of like this.
All right, so you're the driver, right? White dude's closer to the front of the car?
Yeah, kind of.
All right, so if you're looking, are you looking at his back? You looking at his sides? Looking at his front?
Kind of like that. Yeah.
Like this? Where's the other guy?
Right where he is.
I'm kidding. Where's that you at?
Where's the other guy?
They're like that literally. And then, but it's a little more this way, and I'm a little more back.
So this way?
Yeah.
What are you seeing of this guy? His front?
I'm not paying attention to him. I'm paying attention to this guy.
Okay. And you think you see him kind of rush?
No, he did rush.
Okay. So he rushes, but not to the point where they're on top of each other.
No, they didn't get it.
They didn't get it.
The other person was backpedaling.
Okay, so this person's moving back,
but
arm up?
They've been backpedaling the whole time. That's when the shot goes off.
Okay.
Tell me where Caleb's arms are at. Oh, yeah.
I'm not even saying it was him.
Again, it sounds as though as soon as Andrew realized he was being robbed, he started to go on the offensive, forcing Caleb backwards. According to Devon, he then tried rushing Caleb, which scared Caleb into shooting him. They're slowly closing in on the truth here, but not quite there yet, which is why they're still trying to play some tricks on Devon to try and get everything out of him. Devon hasn't admitted that the shooter was Caleb, but notice how the detectives are consistently naming him as the shooter throughout the story. They're trying to get Devon to go along with it and agree or accidentally admit it himself, but he's not slipping up. However, the detectives are relentless and don't stop trying for another hour of tireless interrogation. It's then that Devon finally makes a mistake.
Ooh, here we go, chat. Here we go.
It's then that Devon finally makes a mistake.
What this goes on? What else you guys talk about? You and her?
Oh, I can't remember all that. Like you said, it's not shit. I just need to work on memorizing.
No, that'd be care about her. That'd be an emotional conversation.
Not really. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I don't know the dude, so it's fucked up that this shoot died, because I don't know him. I don't know who he is, what kind of person he is, or any of that. But it didn't really strike me emotionally, because I don't have that many emotions for it. I used to do much, so like, it doesn't really, I don't really have many emotions about it, except for I'm pissed that he's in jail for it. I'm pissed that he died, of course, because I don't know the guy. I'm always pissed about that.
Was Caleb pissed?
Was Caleb pissed? Yeah, he just shot somebody.
That's it, bro. First of all, he was trying to sound so tough, like, I don't have feelings for shit no more. Ever since I was little. Yeah, man, I just don't feel anything. That's when you insert the wilted rose emoji, the chain emoji. Then he just goes, oh yeah, Caleb was pissed. He just shot him. Caleb just shot the guy.
Yeah, shot somebody.
Imagine you're in this position. You're trying to hide the fact that your friend shot an innocent man, but the detectives have been taking that fact for granted for the past 2 hours. They've been using his name, asking questions about details, and refusing to accept the fact that it might not have been him. Eventually, you would internalize this idea and forget that you even need to lie. That's what just happened here, and it's why Devon barely even realizes that he's just confirmed that Caleb was in fact the shooter. Of course, there were mountains of evidence against him anyway, but now they have it straight from the source, and a conviction will be easy. The detectives now only have one last question. Was this really an accident, or had they planned this out as a murder from minute one?
Do you remember what he said?
Is he panicked?
All of it's kind of panicked, because like I said, I didn't see it coming. I don't like unexpected things like this happening because of this situation exactly. Look at me now. In here for accessory to murder and that. I didn't see it coming. If I do something, it's going to be planned out and it's going to get done correctly, so I'm not in this situation. That's why I was kind of pissed and I was panicked, because I didn't see this about to happen.
So let me ask you this. If this is your deal, and this is your plan, let's say you're planning the robbery, you've done it. We've already talked about that. I'm not asking when, dates, when. If this is you're doing, it's not going to be random like this. It's going to be planned out.
Well, yeah, and it's not being a person usually.
So what Caleb or this other person we're calling did pretty amateur, right?
Huh?
Pretty amateur.
What, was it that?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, like I said, it wasn't even planned.
Devon's like, bro, Caleb's a fucking idiot. Like me, if I'm gonna kill an innocent man, it's gonna be planned. By the way, I'm a good guy.
Devon's main point ended up being that if he had planned the murder, then they simply wouldn't have caught him. So it had to have been a spur-of-the-moment decision. But the detectives didn't buy it. And in fact, this approach actually made things exponentially worse for Devon. The interrogation ended shortly after, but the detectives decided to do some further research into these other robberies. They ended up connecting him and Caleb to multiple other serious incidents, including the robbery of a cell phone store the very next day and an incident where they fired shots into a pregnant woman's home. It was clear that they had been planning multiple robberies and were using Caleb's gun as a method of intimidation to make money.
Oh, these guys were some YNs, bro. These were some YNs just causing chaos in the neighborhood.
As you could imagine, this didn't look good in court for any of them. Devon received the highest sentence. He was found guilty on 18 counts, including first-degree murder, attempted murder, aggravated robbery, and aggravated intimidation of a witness. He was sentenced to life in prison plus 279 years. Caleb also received a similar sentence of life plus 118 years. The fourth passenger in the car, Eternity Lopez, was also interrogated, but was found to be completely uninvolved. She was picked up after the murder, so it seems like she was in the wrong place at the wrong time. She was not charged with the incident. But possibly worst of all for Devon, his efforts in the interrogation room failed to even help Alicia get off any lighter. She was also found guilty in the murder of Andrew Janicek and was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Hey, what a dumbass. Bro walked into the interrogation room acting like tough shit. My precious Alicia. Yeah, I'm gonna get her out of this. I'm gonna save her. And then she also gets a life sentence. You know what? At least they're together forever. I mean, yeah, rotting in jail. Can men and women be in the same jail? I don't think so, right? Because imagine men and women having babies in jail. That'd be weird. Wait, so why did he get the longest sentence? Was it actually him that killed? Oh, okay. So he got the longest not because he had the most to do with the murder. I mean, he was still directly involved in the murder of Andrew, but combined with everything else he was guilty of over the years, over the months, yeah, that's why he got the longest shit. And yeah, this Caleb guy, he was the one directly responsible for the murder of Andrew, but I mean, he still got more than a life sentence. Yeah, I mean, shit, yeah, rest in peace to Andrew. Such a frustrating case. Again, going back to that Alicia girl, even if you didn't do the murder yourself, I think this was her mindset, by the way. Oh, I'm not the one who pulled the trigger, I don't care. Have some respect, bro. Have some humanity about you. How you gonna learn that the people you were in the car with, how you gonna learn that they killed somebody in your presence and be this nonchalant the entire interview? I think because she didn't pull the trigger, that's why she was so cocky in her head, like, oh, whatever, like, I'm just gonna lie a little bit, I'm just gonna help my boyfriend, and I'm not gonna go to jail for anything serious, it's fine. That was her mindset. But I mean, we learned how that bit her in the ass. She also gets life in prison. Jesus, I would have loved to have seen this girl's reaction to her sentencing. She must have cried. Surely she must have cried. I want to see if she was still nonchalant in that moment. Prayers to Andrew's family, and prayers to his girlfriend. She was destroyed learning that news, guys.
And he died in the parking lot.
Oh, God.
Like, that is a genuine girl right there. That's a genuine person that Andrew had in his life. Prayers out to her. Hopefully she's doing better now. That's all for this video. Very sad stuff. Thank you so much for watching, YouTube, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next video. Hopefully it's a little less messed up than this. Alrighty, peace out.